initial session on Tuesday, Justice Athar Minallah emphasized the state's responsibility in safeguarding the country's judges and maintaining the independence of the judiciary. These remarks came as a six-member Supreme Court bench, led by Chief Justice Qazi Faiz Issa, resumed hearing a case concerning allegations of interference by the security apparatus in judicial matters. During the proceedings, Chief Justice Issa clarified the formation of the bench, highlighting that all available judges were convened without any selection bias.
We are from the same society. We are from this community of lawyers that we come here. We may be good, we may be bad. The bad doesn't end when you are elevated. So interference of any kind, from any source, any phone call, that should also be equally for a judge, civil judge. Maybe that's more fearful than some. We are focusing on one particular thing on the executive. We should also call about self-accountability within the judiciary. And has there not been interference, and the greatest of interference from within and the highest court of the land? That's a matter of history. We can go into specific cases also.
Justice Minallah echoed these sentiments, underlining the seriousness of the allegations made by Islamabad High Court judges regarding continuous interference.
You see, if it is not happening, it's our internal weakness. That can be dealt with. But if the state becomes the aggressor against a judge, that is what all the high courts are highlighting. And that is a serious matter. The High Court of Lahore is endorsing what the Islamabad High Court has said. It is a continuing, and we all know that it is happening, and it has happened. And the judges, they fear reporting because, my learned Attorney General, since the last hearing, what has happened to a judge of the Islamabad High Court, his personal data, which cannot be accessed by a private person, was put on the social media.
Yes.
That is an intimidation. That is what affects a judge, and all those matters, mind you. My lord is on the bench, 2.5 hours of Judicial Commission's meeting. Each one of them was discussed. Even his green card was mentioned, and he was opposed by the judges from within and from outside because he was independent.
Other justices, including Mansoor Ali Shah and Jamal Khan Mandokhel, raised concerns about threats and intimidation faced by judges, highlighting the importance of empowering high courts and establishing a clear firewall against excesses. Amid discussions on past incidents and the role of intelligence agencies, the Supreme Court ordered the proposals made by the Islamabad High Court judges to be made public. The court also sought input from bar associations and bar councils, emphasizing the need for unity and cooperation in addressing the issues at hand. The hearing was adjourned until 7th May, as the Supreme Court continues its deliberations on this critical matter concerning the independence and integrity of the judiciary in Pakistan. In a significant development, the State Bank of Pakistan announced today that it has received the final tranche of $1.1 billion from the International Monetary Fund under the standby arrangement. This follows the IMF's approval on Monday to disburse approximately $1.1 billion to Pakistan, marking the completion of the second review under the SBA. With this disbursement, the total amount received by Pakistan under the arrangement reaches around $3 billion. Despite unanimous support from the IMF's executive board for releasing the final installment, India abstained from the decision. The IMF lauded Pakistan's efforts in implementing stronger policy measures under the SBA, which have contributed to stabilizing the economy and fostering modest growth. However, the fund emphasized the need for Pakistan to continue its policy and reform efforts to transition from stabilization to a strong and sustainable recovery, while ensuring protection for vulnerable segments of society. Today's announcement by the State Bank confirms the receipt of the tranche, which will bolster Pakistan's foreign exchange reserves. Prime Minister Shehbaz, in a statement, expressed gratitude for the IMF support and highlighted the importance of the SBA in preventing economic default during challenging times. He emphasized the government's commitment to improving the economy and achieving development goals. PM Shehbaz underscored that economic stability and reducing reliance on loans are paramount, expressing hope for Pakistan to break free from the debt cycle and enter a prosperous era. Finance Minister Muhammad Aurangzeb has indicated Pakistan's interest in seeking a longer and larger economic bailout package with the IMF, a move supported by the fund to formulate a new economic program for the country. In a recent ruling, the International Court of Justice has decided against issuing emergency orders to halt German arms exports to Israel. Despite expressing deep concern over the situation in Gaza, the judges maintained that emergency measures were not warranted. This decision comes after Nicaragua's accusation that Germany violated the 1948 Genocide Convention and international law by supplying arms to Israel, alleging awareness of the risk of genocide. However, Germany has vehemently denied these claims, arguing that Nicaragua's case lacked substance and rushed evidence, leading to a jurisdictional dispute. It's worth noting that Germany stands as one of Israel's principal military suppliers, having dispatched €326.5 million worth of equipment and weapons in 2023, as per data from the Economy Ministry. Meanwhile, protests erupt across the United States, echoing global sentiments against Israel's recent actions. With over 900 arrests made in connection to the demonstrations, the calls for justice and peace reverberate worldwide. In the midst of the chaos, Hamas ponders an Israeli offer of a temporary ceasefire. Amid staggering casualty figures from Gaza, Hamas has emphasized the urgency of halting the violence, challenging the notion that cessation equates to generosity. With over 34,000 Palestinians killed and tens of thousands wounded in the recent onslaught, the toll of the conflict continues to mount.